pleasant in our eyes. As we start this program this week, this first program of the conference, we are just praying that, Lord, you will begin with us. You will take us through, and you will bring us to a precious and satisfying end. Whoever is called upon to start to do any program, Lord, we are committing the people into your hands. We commit our facilitators into your hands. We commit the conference into your hands. We commit all other programs and climaxing it with a dinner. Father, we commit every program into your hands. And it's our prayer that you will be with us. You will take us through all the hurdles, all the impediments will be removed in your precious name. And Lord, at the end of it all, we'll have cause to give you alone the praise and the glory. This we ask in the name of our Lord Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Let's keep it up unto the Lord. Amen. At this point, we want to take a remark from the CEO to know the purpose of today's gathering. So, with a clap of offering, let's invite the CEO to give us his opening remarks for today's session. Let's do it better for him as he comes.
Thank you. Good morning, council members, those who are present with us here in person, those who are online, associate members of the Institute, our colleagues, friends from the media, all other protocols observed. You are welcome. Welcome to the Chartered Institute of Bankers, Ghana. Our mandate is to promote banking education and to regulate the practice of the banking profession in Ghana. As part of that responsibility and mandate, we celebrate our Bank Summit. The theme couldn't be more appropriate given our circumstances as a country. And we think that the least the Institute can do is to support our members by sharing some thoughts on how we can manage ourselves through these trying times. So the Health Summit has always been, maybe in the last 3 years we've been having it, it evolved from a health walk to Health Summit. So COVID has taught us that we can do things in different ways. So we know that as we gather, we'll hear a lot. But as Benjamin Franklin said, tell me, and I'll forget. Maybe if you show me, I'll remember. But if you involve me, I will learn. That is why we are going to involve you in some activities and exercise today. And my encouragement to you is that please participate fully. And I can see the Vice President is very determined. If you look at his outfit, he's here to burn some fat. And so, without talking too much, I welcome you on behalf of the Governing Council and council members, the ESCO, and on my own behalf to the Chartered Institute of Bankers. Please enjoy, exercise, and let's learn. Thank you.
Hello. Okay, thank you very much for the great remarks, Mr. Jato, the CEO of the Institute. The session is going to be in two parts. So we are going to take a presentation and a panel discussion. Then when we are done, we'll pick questions from our audience, those in person and online. Then when we are done, we'll go into the physical session, which is the aerobics. So that's going to be the structure for our today's program. At this point, we want to take our presentation, and the presentation is going to be given by Mrs. Vivian Obin. I just want to read her profile before she comes. She's a licensed psychologist and a public health specialist with a passion for social protection, especially issues that concern the vulnerabilities in our societies. She was one of the team of psychologists and social workers of the Progressive Life Center that worked in collaboration with Mediators Beyond Borders to provide psychosocial training for the Liberian child soldiers at the Budumburam camp in Ghana during the Liberian War. She's a board member and founding director of Psych Forum, an NGO dedicated to the promotion of mental health well-being across the lifespan. She's among one of the first 6 psychologists that provided psychosocial support for travelers who had to undergo mandatory quarantine following the outbreak of COVID-19 when Ghana's borders were closed. Her NGO, the Psych Forum, is presently providing psychosocial support to frontline health workers through telecounseling, psychoeducation, and in-person counseling. It means we have the right person for today's session. With a clap, let's invite Mrs. Vivian Obin to give us the presentation for today on the topic that we've selected. Let's do it better for her as she comes. So when she's done with the presentation, we'll have our panelists join her on stage, then we'll have the discussion. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Ba. And thank you, Chartered Institute of Bankers, for this opportunity. I'll try my best to do a bit of justice to the topic, because even this morning I was asking, who chose this topic? You see, you have so we have mental health, and then you have stress management, and then you have retirement planning. I mean, 3 broad areas that you have to do. Even one of them you can't do in a day. So if you have to do all these 3 in 45 minutes, it's a challenge. But that's why we are here. So we'll see how best we can do. So let me ask, excuse me, sorry. So the first thing we are going to do, let me ask the question. When we think of retirement, what are some of the images that come to our mind? What are some of the things that we think about when we think of retirement? Any uptakers? Okay. So they think about gray hair. She thinks about gray hair and illnesses. Okay.
Old age and getting closer to God.
Old age and getting closer to God. Yes. Traffic-free life. That one, it's like me. You know about me. Yes. In terms of okay. All right. Okay. Just put it here. Okay. Okay. A lot of money from where? From your children. Okay. All right. Okay. Yes. So you see, these are some of the images that we have. Which one? This one. Okay, it's not on. Okay. So I asked the question, why this topic? Combining 3 big things together. And I want to think that we are thinking that retirement has the potential, as we have just mentioned, to come with some good things, but also some negative things in life. And one of the good things we mentioned is you become free unless you choose to go to town. depending on where you live. You don't have to go through the struggle of traffic, the commute in traffic every day. So that kind of stress goes out. So, and some of these effects, as we have just mentioned, could be financial, could be psychological, it could be social. So, but then we do know that banks usually provide retirement planning. At least they facilitate workshops and other things for the staff in terms of retirement planning. But most of these focus on the finance aspect, the financial aspect. So I think that the CIBG wants us to look beyond the financial aspect, and that's why they chose this topic. So we'll try to look beyond the financial parts. Yeah. So I want us to look at some of the images that comes to mind when we think about retirement. So one of them could be, so this is the outline. We've just talked about it. Images that comes to mind, definition of the various themes, the 3 themes, and the mental health through the life cycle, retirement as it relates to the meanings of work, and promoting well-adjusted retirement life. So the image, please change. Okay. So is this something that comes to mind when you think of retirement? Like you have the time to sleep. For me, I'm not able to sleep. You have to wake up at dawn and get children ready and do all that stuff, put them in the car when they are half asleep, and send them to school before you also go to work. And so if you live in my part of town, being at least able to sleep up to 6:30 in retirement is something that you think about. Yes. And then maybe your passion is to read a book or even write a book, but your work schedule is such that you are not able to think about reading a book. And so you don't enjoy your hobby. Yes, or you are thinking of going out of the country to your children in Abuchi so that you can enjoy the barbecues and all those things. Or these days with technology, you enjoy yourself at home doing your video, conferencing and chats and all of that. Or maybe you want to move to the village so that every day you can enjoy fufu. You see, they will pound for you and enjoy. But do you also think that you could be lonely in this latter part? No, the lonely part. The other one. Yes. Do you also think that even at this time in your age, you could be lonely? That you could still have financial challenges? We know that people in the banking sector are well paid, so maybe you have a good buffer. But there could be an eventuality. Anything could happen, and then you may not have it. It's also possible that at that stage in your life, you may be divorced, or you may become a widow or a widower. It was not something you were anticipating. You were hoping that when you retire and you go home, your partner will be there and you have a good life. But then that could happen. So let's look at the definitions of retirement. So it says that it is withdrawal from one's position or occupation or from one's active working life. So you are moving from, look at the underline, a position, one's position. So you had a position, you are moving from it. It is also a period, so it's not just the day. Of course, your letter comes in that day, but we even know that it's a period of time. In someone's life that has stopped working because you have reached a particular age. And that is what we call mandatory retirement, or sometimes we say voluntary, although it's mandatory. But history tells us that when we look at the etymology of the word, it's from a French word, and it was used in military sense. So in times of war, you go back and regroup, and you go to a place of seclusion or a place of safety and look at your plans again and then come back. So that's the origin of the word retirement. And then when we look at stress, as for stress, we all know it because we go through it every day. But basically, it's when we are overwhelmed. We go through a situation where our resources and even the resources of people around us make it difficult for us to be able to function well. And that's when we talk about stress. Then we are looking at mental health. Yes. So mental health, we are using the WHO definition, which says that mental health is a state of mental well-being that enables people to cope with the stresses of life, realize their abilities, learn well, work well, and contribute to their community. So you see, often when we hear mental health, we think about mental illness. But from this definition, we see that mental health is not illness. It is your ability to be able to be healthy and to make decisions and to make choices. So we say that in simple terms, it is how we think, feel, act, make choices, and relate to others. That is what we call mental health. So when we hear mental health, let's not immediately go to the points of illness. It's not illness. Otherwise, the Mental Health Authority tells us that 1 in 5 Ghanaians have a mental health condition. So if we count ourselves here, 5 here, so which one of you has it? 5 of us here, which one of us, you know? So if we look at it as illness, then it will mean that a lot of us are walking around with a lot of mental challenges, and we cannot function like that. So mental health, as we say, is health. It's just like physical health, you know, and the things that you have to do. Okay, so mental health is important not only at work, but throughout life. Even before you are born, your mental health is important. That's why it's just like when you are pregnant and you are advised not to eat certain foods, eat less of certain foods, eat more of certain foods, so that the fetus can grow well and have certain nutrients. It's the same thing with mental health. So the experiences of the couple, not just the mother. Of course, the child is in the womb of the woman, but even the environment at home when someone is pregnant, the stress, the pressure, the relationship challenges, and some other things can impact on the mental health of the growing fetus. And of course, there are other ones which are mental illnesses, like mental retardation and other things that could come in at the time of, and of course we have Down syndrome and all those other ones. But on the whole, as all of us as average persons, our mental health starts even before we are born. Yes, and by what I just said, we know that it's a combination of our genes, it's a combination of the social and environmental factors, as well as the way we think. So mental health is something that takes the totality of the person. It's not something that you can take out of the person. It is part of the person. It's the totality. It could be genetic, just like we have some genetic diseases. So we have diabetes. Some people are prone to diabetes. Some people are prone to hypertension. Some families have cardiovascular issues. So it's just like that. So mental health, and as I said, many people have mental health issues from all of us. All of us have issues from time to time. So when you feel so stressed, when you go through a challenging situation where you are at your wit's end, no matter what you do, you are not able to. That is a challenge. There are times that you go through a loss, and it's so overwhelming that you don't know how to get on with your life. So we all go through that from time to time. So mental health is with us, and we get mental health challenges from time to time. But then it becomes a mental illness when the ongoing signs and symptoms are frequent and they affect our ability to function. And that is true with stress as well. We have stress in our life every day. Some of it is even good to push us, for us to get on. But when the stress becomes too much, sometimes you become even immobilized. I mean, literally. You cannot move, you cannot think, you cannot function. And that's when it becomes an illness. Over a certain period, of course, you have to be properly and clinically diagnosed. So you don't just say, I have depression or I have a mental health condition. It has to be diagnosed by a professional. So, but some people think that, as one of our participants said, some people think that as you age, you automatically begin to have mental health issues. Research shows that even with dementias like Alzheimer's and other things, which comes with age, it's from age 80. You see, so if you don't want that, you don't want to age towards that side. You try to take the one God gave you, 70 years, and then you go. But it's not everybody. It does not mean that as long as you are aging, you are going to have mental decline. No, it's not automatic. So that's what happens. However, there are certain aspects of retirement that could affect one's mental health. And I believe that is the reason why most banks and even other organizations, government institutions, help people to prepare for their retirement. Often our focus is on the financial, which is very important. But we need to look at other aspects. And they are saying that when you are older and you have mental health conditions, it becomes very difficult because already society sees you as aging. And so, and for a part of the world, mental health is stigmatized anyway. So an elderly person would prefer to be saying that he's being difficult because he's old than to say he has a mental health condition. So diagnosing mental health conditions among the elderly is sometimes very difficult. So we will go on with that, and we will come back and see how this is linked with our retirement. Yes, so now we are in retirement. Isn't it exciting? Is retirement not exciting? You know that your boss will not worry you again, no. That boss, you have to say yes sir to every day. Whatever you do, cry, he doesn't appreciate. No matter what, it's gone. And then the rigid structure of working, all that is gone. Now you can do whatever. You don't have to wear the suit and the tie and all those things again. You can do whatever you want. And then what else? Work-related stresses. You want to go home, but you must finish this work and finish it now. So all those ones are gone. Everything. And there are some people that left you alone, you come to work, you won't talk to. But you must talk to them. You must interact with them. And so all these things, when you are retiring, and then some people will say, me crack, I'm refusing, let me tell him my peace of mind. But that one, be careful about it. So you see, all these stresses are gone. So then, why should retirement, if you have such freedom and you have saved and you are going home. Why should CIBG worry you about mental health and retirement plan? After all, you finish work, you are going somewhere. So why are they bothering you? So then, what we are saying is that retirement brings us back to the meaning of work. Why do you work in the first place? Apart from getting money, why do you work? Can somebody tell us why he or she works? Apart from getting money. As for money, there is the baseline. You get money. You work because you want to have. When you are young and you are getting into the employment first, you are so excited and so happy. Now you have your own money. You don't have to go and ask anybody for money. Now you can move out of home. Nobody is going to restrict you. Why are you not sleeping early? So you have some autonomy. And then what else? Why do you work? The meaning of work. The meaning of work helps us to, it provides us with identity. You see, when they were introducing me, they said a whole lot of things, but I'm just simply Vivian Norman. That's all. But they want to add things, and I will be happy when they add those things. So when you go somewhere and they say, oh, this is the internal controller of the XY bank. And then somebody will say, this man, he's wild though. And then you are confused. What does wild mean? When they say this internal controller is wild. Maybe all that the person is saying is that you are strict and you make them adhere to the rules. If your employer is there, he will be happy because he knows that you will be helping him to reduce the risk and also adhere to the procedures that you have to adhere to. So it makes you feel good when you are introduced like that. This is a very good, and he's been good at his work for a long time, and that's how it is. Or like my relationship, one of my relationship managers, I always tell her, I've had many, but you are the best. And she's always happy with that, So work gives us identity. It helps us have meaning to our lives and a purpose. Each day you wake up and you know you are going somewhere. Although the structure is rigid, but you enjoy that kind of, life, just living life without, people will say you are aimless. But when you have a certain structure and a certain focus for which you are given, it helps to improve your mental well-being. So that's it. So in the daily routine, so it gives you also a social network. Some of us are friends, especially the women. Our friends that we have now are people that we met in the workplace. They came to our wedding, we married, and then we had kids. Some of our children go to the same school. We meet at PTA. And these are the people we meet. So our social network is surrounded around these people. And sometimes if you don't take care, and that's why last year we talked about work-life balance. If you don't take care, you have no relationship outside your work. So when you are going on retirement and you are so happy to go, think about these other things and that you'll be losing. So what are some of the potential losses when it comes to retirement? And just like we said in the definition, you move away or we withdraw from a position. So Mr. Jato will not be the CEO again. He's going home. And when he comes, all the yes boss, yes director, yes CEO, all that is gone at home there. Who are you going to boss over? Is it your wife? If you don't take care, you boss it too much at home, trouble for you. Yes. And then, like I said, you lose your social network and you lose some real friends. There are some people, they may not be in your workplace, but they are in the industry. And you have formed relationships with them in such a way that these people are your confidants. Hey, when you have something, unless you talk to that person, you will not feel well. You must discuss with this person, and then there are the people we also gossip with. And of course, we talked about structure and purpose already. So, as we have seen, retirement comes with a number of losses, and these may have health consequences as depression, anxiety, and sometimes even suicidal ideation. Some people want to kill themselves at a retirement. When the person has been at the high flight for a long time, and you go back, and in those days when people used to go back to live in their village without preparing, you see, it's different when you are working and you are going to the village, and when you retire and you move to the village. When you are working and you go to the village, everybody comes, greet you because they know they will get something. They will give you some foodstuffs. And it's for a short while. So people will be around you and you'll be happy. Imagine if you go and build your house there, and most of them are normal, modest houses, but you have the high, because you were planning to stay in the village, you have this house with all the modern things and a fence around it. You fence yourself in. It's one of two things. Either every day they'll be coming to you for a loan, which now you don't have, the money you don't have, or nobody comes to you and you become isolated, even amongst your own people. But research has shown that overall, retirees are happier and they are content with their life. But also, again, research shows that people with severe mental health conditions die prematurely, and that's from the WHO. And sometimes the premature death is as much as 2 decades, 20 years ahead of the time that you are to die. So that's the thing with retirement and the loss. Let's continue to talk about retirement, and then, yes, so now let's talk about retirement. How did you retire? Your mental health and your well-being in retirement depends on how you retired. How did you retire? Did you go voluntarily? That's the mandatory. And then you see, sometimes people, we have football ages. No matter how many years you reduce from your age, one day, that age will come and you go on retirement. So it's because of our fear of retirement that sometimes all these things happen. So although it's mandatory and we call it voluntary retirement, and there are many times, and we might have gone through all this retirement planning, training, workshops, and all of these things, but yet we are not prepared. So did we plan or did we not plan? And when you plan, what did you plan? Did you plan financially, which we do well of? Did they think about your psychological health in retirement? What about social? And if it was involuntary, and I want to talk a bit about the involuntary. As for that one, we all know, like when there was a restructuring in the banking sector, people lost their jobs. Some were fortunate, they had to be paid off, so they got some money, but others had to retire prematurely. And research has shown that most of these people, they do not do well, either financially or mental health-wise, or even socially. You don't do well. But there's one aspect that happens in the banks, and I think SNAIT also did the same. Is it a matter of restructuring or something? Then some people are earmarked to go on retirement, and they pay them big money. So what happens is that, apart from those people who are earmarked to go on that retirement, Some people want to push their names into that, and they also take it because they are looking only at the money part of getting that big money that they are offering. And then at the end of the day, because you had not prepared, you take the money, and if you don't take care, you don't even know what to do with it. You don't invest it well, and it affects you. So that's with. And then we come to retirement with unique life experiences at the time. So, for example, your family status or your family situation. So you are retiring, assuming that this is the mandatory 60-year-old retirement. Are you retiring single or married, divorced, separated, or widowed? All these have implications for the quality of your life at retirement. And if you are single, were you single already or you are newly single? If you are newly single due to a divorce, how are you regrouping yourself and to face retirement with a new partner? And then do you have children in school or you don't have children in school? And it's nobody's fault that you may have children in school at your retirement. Maybe you married and it took you a long time to even have children. So by the time you started having children, you were also closer to retirement. So what is the implication of that? And do you have a sick child? Is that sick child being taken care by your medical benefits by the bank? Or is somebody that you yourself is taking care of? And then are you an empty nester? Are all your children out of the home? Or you see, so depending on your family situation at retirement, it has different implications for your mental well-being. And then again, we've just talked about the financial aspects. So some people, and then we are talking about your situation at retirement. Do you own your own home or do you rent? Are you renting? And are you going to continue renting? And if you own your own home, how big is your house? Because when we are working, we like to build big houses, which somehow we are able to maintain. And for me as a woman, the part I think of is, even when you are old, can you clean that house? Keeping the house, the cleaning itself, maintaining the house. You may not be paying rent, but the maintenance, somebody to read around, somebody to do this, all that thing. So all those things come in. And then, and then when your living conditions again, do you have combined incomes? The fact that you and your spouse are working does not mean that you combine your incomes. You may have separate incomes. So you are coming on retirement and you want to take on a new project, which a lot of people do. With that, knowing that in retirement, yes, you have investment, but your immediate income is lower than what you were earning before. So then, how are you going to adjust to that? And then there are families that have multi-generational families. You have grandparents living with you or being dependent on you. So your situation is different from somebody who is just a couple and their children or an empty nester, you see. So whatever situation we bring to retirement. And then your health status. You may have a health condition. That's the bank under your medical bill is paying for you. Now that you are no longer benefit from, I don't know if it ceases or it continues. I know with some organizations, even when you retire, they continue to take care of your medical bills. I don't know if it's the same within the banks. They continue to take care of that for you. So then you are home free. Okay. Then mental health is one thing we never think about. But because mental health is stigmatized, people we work with have mental health conditions. They may be taking treatment, and we may not know because they don't want to disclose that. Because the moment the person tells you that I'm taking my antidepressant or I'm taking this anti-anxiety medication or other psychotropic medicine, anytime there's a small disagreement, they'll say, I didn't know, you know, so people hide that. By you, the person going on retirement, if you are on such treatment, have you thought about how you continue with such treatment? And then some people are alcohol dependent and drug users. They are amongst us. We don't know. Or sometimes we suspect, but we don't know it. So if a person is a drug user, because he's earning an income, he's able to finance that habit. But when you are out of work, are you going to use all your savings to do such a habit? And of course, aging brains are much more sensitive to adverse effects of alcohol and then drugs than the young brains. So this will have an impact on you. So these are the things that come with retirement that informs our mental well-being and the stresses we experience during retirement. And then retirement and aging, we have already said it. That is when you're in Ghana, when you are 60 years, you retire. In many parts of the world, it's the age 65. But even in Ghana, during our censuses, when they are counting the elderly, they start with age 65. So although you are retiring at 60, it's when you are 65 that you are counted as elderly. And then, of course, older persons in Ghana enjoy a lot of respect. For example, we like the title, I'm a senior citizen, but it comes with other things. But we also know that society is changing. And so if you are home and you think that just by the fact that you are old, people will respect you, you may have a shock. Even in your own home, you may have a shock among your family. And then self-perceptions of aging, attitudes related to retirement and physical fitness. People think that because you are old, automatically you are weak. Of course, you are getting weak, but it's not automatic. We have 70, 80-year-olds who are very active, and they get on with their life. So it depends on how well you eat, how well you exercise, and your genes. Some people generally are much more stronger than others. So that's it. And then physical health as we age. And research has shown that leaving the working world behind alone, that's going into retirement, increases the risk of cardiovascular disease, heart attacks, and all those things by as much as 40%. So you see, just the fact that the purpose, we said that work gives us purpose, work gives us structure, work gives us meaning, work gives us our identity. Just by the fact that you have moved away from all these things, and then added to that your age, can impact how your wellness will be. So we continue to look at how these things affect, and some of the perceptions, when you yourself see yourself as being old and aged, some people say, now I'm useless. I mean, how can a living being be useless? You know? But if you yourself perceive yourself, because the person's whole identity is tied to their work. I'm a financial analyst. When there's anything, they come and consult me. You know that in your workplace. And so, when that is gone, you begin to see yourselves as being useless or worthless, and that can affect your mental well-being. But today, it is common to find people, older persons, retire unretire, and re-retire. You see, even before some people retire, they have already started in the outside, they call it bridge work. So the person is about to retire. He has some 10 or 5 years ahead of him, but he starts developing a certain interest in a certain area even before the time. So he starts taking jobs in those areas small, doing those things. So it's called a kind of bridge to retirement. And so the person is developing himself or herself into that area until the person retires. And then the person has actually retired. But then in the public service, people will look for contracts. They will go and look for contracts. Or even in the banking sector, I'm sure there are certain skills that the bank might say, we need you, so come back as a consultant or for the next 2 years. So the person has retired, but for that period, he has unretired. And so he continues to work. It could be at a reduced rate. In the public service, when it happens, the level at which you were comes down, I think, 1 notch or so. But then you are still working and you are being paid. And then after a while of doing all this in and out, you retire again. So retirement is not a straight road like it used to be. You finish and you have retired. You can retire from your work at age 60, but if you still have strength and you want to continue to work, you can work in that same profession or some other profession. Maybe what you wanted to do even long before you became a banker. So the research is saying that many retirees are choosing to re-enter the labor market several times again before they completely leave the work sector. So that's what we are seeing now. And this has implications for our mental well-being. Because what is the reason why you are going back? Why the new trend? Is it because it helps you to find a new sense of purpose or fulfillment beyond your career years? Maybe, perhaps that's what you wanted to be something else. And that happens a lot these days. Because there are no jobs, people choose certain career paths, not necessarily being their passion, but it puts food on the table, it gives them recognition, so they continue in it. But somebody afterwards, or in the course of even doing what he wanted to do along, might find something and divert. And so when it does that, that person goes to that new area. Also, somebody might go back because he wants to, he or she wants to give. Please, when I say he, I mean both sexes. I don't want the women actually to say she. All her examples are he. So it's both sexes. And all other sexes as you know it. So some people want to leave a legacy for the next generation. So they can volunteer. They may decide to do some voluntary work somewhere, passing on the knowledge they have gained and all of that. They may not pay them, and if sometimes they also get paid for that kind of work. And then sometimes there's a financial need. I mean, the person has retired, but due to certain circumstances, the person needs some finance. And so the person will go back into the work area. And like I mentioned, maybe somebody at home has a health condition that needs to be taken care of. Or you didn't have your children early, so your children are still in school. And so for a financial need, you do that. And some people just want to stay connected. I mean, have that active life, go here, come here, and be working and also be earning something small. So the main purpose of the work is not to earn, but to stay socially active. But then if you can get money to pay for the transport and all, a few other things, why not? So that's something that we look at, and this is why there's this new trend. Yes, but there's caution, It says that, however, the associations between working in retirement, psychological health, and life satisfaction are likely more complex and influenced by such variables as whether it is voluntary or you have a sense of control. Those things that we have mentioned already. Is it just that you want to do it or you have to work? And whether the work that you are doing, is it something that you have a control over? You regulate your own time, you regulate or this one too is rigid. And then, is it because of household income? So this is moderated. So this is the trend. But is it just because I want to do it or because I have to do it? This is what is happening in the world now. So now, before we go to this part, does anybody have something to say so far about what we've discussed? A contribution, something? Oh. Okay, so go on. So we are saying that we want to promote well-adjusted retirees. And what is the role of our organization? Just like the Institute has started, what about the other banking sector? And we are saying that this is linked with having a work-life balance. So have family-friendly policies and programs in your workplace. Some people do not have a relationship with their own family, especially the men, because they focus on putting food on the table, and then they are running in and out of the house. And so they don't really have a relationship with their spouse. And nobody should tell me that this is not true. The fact that people are staying together and having children does not mean that they have an intimate or a relationship. So and if we look at on the average in our part of the world, usually women don't marry men that they are older than. So usually the men are older than the women. And on the average, it's about 4 to 5 years. So it means that the time that the man goes on retirement, if the wife is working, she will be continuing to work. And if you have the expectation of now being home, spending more time with your spouse, it may not materialize if you don't look at it. So it is important that since we spend the greater majority of our life in the workplace, employers, you make sure that they give us family-friendly programs and policies that will help us interact with our families. And then we say that include psychological dimensions in your retirement planning programs. You are doing well with the financial aspect, include that. And for those who have EAPs, are employee assistance programs. So if you have employee assistance programs, include retirement planning in your EAP. I don't know what plans your listening has, but you can also expand it. Some have employee and family assistance programs. So if you have that, then you could expand it so that the family could also benefit from such programs. In this way, you are already helping the families to make collective decisions and do certain things together. Yes. And, okay. So, we are also talking about the need to include psychosocial services in your medical benefits. As for medical benefits, we get, but we get psychosocial services in our medical benefit. Do any of you have that as part of your medical benefit? If you wanted to go and see a counselor, apart from those who are under the EAP, if you wanted to see a counselor, is your employer going to pay for that for you? They are paying, so you are in an EAP. Every bank is in an EAP. Then that's good news. That's good. So that should be part of your services. And please, one of the things that people are frustrated with is when they have to go on retirement and chase the processing of their benefits. So we are asking the HR department, especially the mandatory ones. Sometimes people go to SNIT and they see so many years that they have not been recorded, but it has been deducted and paid. So what happened? So before people go on retirement, we want the HR units to try as much as possible to help these people go through the process of doing these documents so that they can get their benefits early. And then, of course, the Provident Fund, the Tier 2 and all the Tier 3s, you help them to do all those things. And that will ease the process of going into retirement for them, at least for the transition period. Okay. So why must organizations bother about retirees? Why is it that your banks, they call the retirees every month, every year, at the end of the year? Hey, chartered bankers, okay, so they recognize their contribution. And what else? So they serve as ambassadors. Yeah. So it tells on your brand image. I mean, if you have people who worked in AX Bank and you see them and they have issues or they die not too long after retiring, it tells on your brand image. And in this part of the world, let one person just say, hey, this Kwesi Mensah was working with this man. He retired. No, he died. Then somebody say, yes, that thing, it tells on your brand image. And they may look as though something it has implications also for who you attract. Okay, we have a large pool of people who are looking for work. But then, is it anybody that you want to employ? Those who are very good are being chased after by a lot of employers. So it tells on who you get. And then it has implications for employee turnover. There are certain positions that you take people there, and within a short time, the people feel so harassed. And either they want to leave your bank or they want to get transferred to another place. I mean, so if you are not interested, or maybe the person, like I said, it feels so harassed that they even want to take early retirement, we need to look at those areas again. And it has implications for international collaborations and measures. Here, we don't take these things seriously, but outside, how you treat your employees, even when they are out of work, is more important than when they are in the work. And so they will do. And then as individuals, what should we do? As usual, set priorities for your work and home. Plan your retirement beyond the finance, at least 5 years. Start following up on your mandatory benefits early. And discuss with your spouse and children the potential new family dynamics. So there are going to be new family dynamics. Daddy will not be going to work from now onwards. We are not used to Daddy being home, but now he's home all the time. And then you have certain things that you do that you know Daddy does not see, but now he's seeing. And Mommy, because Daddy goes to work and doesn't come, she's attending all the functions in the church. So now Daddy is home, but she has church commitments. So how is she coming to take care of the family and the children? So it's very important that we discuss all these things. And then your role has changed. You still are the head or the main breadwinner, but then you should know how to negotiate your way so that people don't take excuses and whilst you are home, leave the house for you. Because now this person is home, they're trouble, so I'm out of the house. And stay active, both physically and cognitively. And do a hobby, and let us go. And ask for help when you need it. So what you are saying is, retirement is a transition and a journey, not a destination. Like any other journey, bounce between twists and turns as well as roadblocks. Some of these could be financial, physical health challenges, mental health challenges, social isolation, a temporary loss of meaning. It is temporary and of loss of purpose because you can always find new purpose. And so let's just continue. But it could be full of adventure with new purpose, new relationship, deeper meanings, existing relationship. So when we are thinking about retirement, let's think about it holistically, taking into consideration all the dynamics and the choices that we are making. Let's think through the consequences and all of those things. And then the key to good mental health and happiness in retirement is to think ahead, not just about money, but about your relationships and your sense of fulfillment beyond career. So you have your retirement pathfinder now. Some are already on the road. It's a journey. Some are about to start. So let's go on this road thinking that we are going on an adventure, but not an adventure alone, but with our spouses, our children, and all the people that we've interacted with. Thank you.
Let's do it better for her. Let's do it better for her.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Please may you take your seat.
Thank you.
So at this point, we've seen the presentation. The questions will come after the panel discussion. Yes. So at this point, we want to start the panel discussion. I want to invite the panelists on the seat. So the first person is Dr. Kofi Anochi Owusu-Darko. He is a chartered banker, and he holds a DBA in leadership and organizational change. He's an organizational development and ADR practitioner. He's the former CEO of the National Pensions Regulatory Authority, and he consults in pension. Let's invite Doctor to take his seat. The next person is Dr. Ernest Kunedu Esiedu. He's a public health physician specialist and a health improvement advisor. He's an expert in health and pandemic at the National Center for Coordination of Early Warning and Response Mechanism. Let's do it better for Dr. Esiedu. The next person is also a doctor. It's as if this year we have a lot of doctors on the panel. We have Dr. Mrs. Beatrice Odonko. She's a fellow of the Institute and a chartered banker. She's a professional teacher and has over 30 years work experience in the financial sector, with 2 decades of this spent in the multinational bank, where she focused on training, treasury, corporate banking, and client relationship management. The fourth panelist will be our speaker. That's Mrs. Vivian Obin, to also take a seat as we begin the discussions.
For me, not because of the financial thing that will come with it, not because of the psychological thing. I was just not ready. I was like, yeah, young lady working, I have to go and come, sort of. But then after praying, and I felt that now I'm ready to move and come home, what gave me the comfort was that he was there to support me. Okay. And so as far as finances was concerned, it was a no-brainer. Okay. And that is one of the things that, as Vivian said, when we are bankers and we are thinking about retirement, the fear of losing money makes us afraid of coming on retirement. And I remember when I left the bank, and I've been on early retirement for about 11 years now.
Wow.
One of my friends saw me and said, Auntie B, what's the magic? You're looking all relaxed and fresh. And I said, you know what? Don't rush out until you are very clear in your mind where you're going. If you are not going to have the support of your spouse, don't jump. So don't look at me and say it is nice to be on retirement. Be very clear that you're going to have the support. So I didn't have any inhibitions about coming home because we had talked about it. That is what Vivian mentioned. You need to talk about it. And if you are spiritual, pray about it. And be very clear that you're having that clarity in your mind that when I come home, I'm not going to suffer. And then when I come home, there is something else I can do. You talked about vertical and horizontal. We don't explore ourselves enough when we are in the work environment as bankers. The environment makes you quite like a zombie. Morning, 8 to 5. By the time you get home, you are stressed. You can imagine that in the beginning, I was living at Tema and working in Kaneshi. It was crazy. By 6 a.m., you should be you should have left the house, get to the office before 8. Now, you go through that motion, and by Saturday, Sunday, you are like contomere from the freezer. You're all weak and tired. You understand? And the cycle starts again on Monday. You have very little time to think about your future. But one thing we need to know is this, that if you know that no matter how long you stay in the business as a banker, you will by all means one day come home. It's important for you to start thinking of, what do I like to do? As a choir woman, it's in the genes. You need to sell, right?
Yeah.
Whether they are professors or whatever, they have a store somewhere. And so I had a little store somewhere, and I started selling from that. And you know what? In addition to my work as a banker, I was selling. So those who know me know that I trade in fabric. And I've been doing that since, as somebody would say. So when it comes to the fear of retirement, you've talked about it. You've had a long-term plan of the things you can do. Explore your hobby. What do you love to do? Don't just go home and sleep. After 8 or 5 o'clock, you've gone home. Some of you go home, you sit behind the television, telenovelas, you know everything. What about you? What do you know about yourself? What can you do differently to prepare you for the future? So that at the end of the day, when you come home, you have more than enough to make you enjoy your retirement. So now I enjoy my coffee in the morning and newspapers when I want to.
Thank you very much. I think we can give a round of applause. We can give a round of applause. Okay, so Dr. Siedu, now if you're not able to manage your stress situation well, it leads to mental health, as Vivian said. Are there cures for that?
Thank you. So the illness, yes. I can see the woman in the audience.
Okay.
And one of the things I have been discussing with the HR, which again, Vivian also talked about, is the fact that if we don't think about the EFAP for the staff, it also adds to the stress. And we are going to look at whether it's something that can be managed or cannot be managed. Look at a very young girl who has finished the university. She lives at Kaswa, and she's working at Spintex. So she leaves home around, by 4 o'clock, she has to be up and finished. Because if you are young in the profession, you don't have an excuse.
Yeah.
You know, you have to be at work before. I used to do some public health education for the banks before they start work. It means that the staff are supposed to be there by 7 or before 7. Now, when they close, they balance something. In fact, my colleagues, you know, we know doctors, in quotes, we say we are stressed because we are working, overworking. But my colleagues arrive home before their wives working in the bank come in the night. Some of them are coming after 9.
Yeah.
Because they have to balance something. So the question is that we are also adding on to the stress. People are not able to cope with these stresses and ultimately may lead to one mental health challenge or the other, which ultimately will manifest in the physical world. Now, this young girl is coming to work and getting home. Sometimes they also work on Saturdays. So in her case, you will say Monday to Friday, become like contumely. This one, I don't know, something else softer than contumely. So you do Monday to Saturday. The question is that people are aging. Then for the women, you have a biological clock, which you need to manage. So you are not meeting the people you are supposed to meet because your network is only at the workplace. And for some strange reason, some people will say that the people at the workplace they are not their type.
Their type.
So by the time you realize the time is going, it adds onto the stress. And then ultimately can even turn out to become some physical illness. So again, yes, there's a management opportunity for some of these stresses that we are not able to. So somebody, as she rightly said, would have the opportunity. The bank may make some provision and people may be seeking some kind of help, which is there. You need some kind of psychological assessment and counseling. But in some instances, like I'm saying, if the HR also I mean, I'm sure there are many more people listening to this, they can also avert their minds that the contribution of what they do that puts people or the staff in some of these situations can also be prevented. So for me, I would say that if the bank or the bankers have this understanding that the stress that the people go through, we can do something about. I was asking one of the HR managers, the person is living at Kaswa, and you have some branches along the way. Why should this person be crossing over? And then, I mean, this question, I'll just leave it with the audience to think about it, especially the managers, the branch managers, the HR people, to think about whether they are looking at these aspects of it. Again, another very important part that Vivian talked about was the fact that if there are no other activities for the banker to bond with the family, and you retire, and you are coming home. In fact, for some people, the manifestation of the mental health illness, at the time they were working, they were coping. Not that it wasn't there, the stress was there, but they were finding means to cope because you find your network around you and all that. But now when you have retired, and remember that the brain is also getting tired over the period. So that is the time that the manifestation is likely to blow up. And that is when people are not likely to come closer to you. And this is where some of these conditions, which were mental, ultimately become physical. So the stress of having hypertension, which ultimately was as a result of some mental health challenge, getting a stroke, that may now make you manifest some other mental health challenge, and people not coming close to you because that is the time you will need them. Becomes a vicious cycle and a very complicated system. So for me, I would say that, yes, the stress of the banking industry, managers should also look at that part of it. What can we do differently to also help our staff to manage some of these things, especially some of them that you have to take away that stress, especially, let's say, the traffic, being in traffic for 2 hours, for which reason you have to wake up very early, coming back, getting the best out of your staff, so that they don't ultimately develop a certain physical condition out of these mental stresses. It's something that is very important we need to consider. Thank
you very much, Doc. That was powerful. Dr. Usudaku, let's come back to the pension space. Will you say economic challenges, for example, as we are experiencing now, is the main reason why people are unable to plan for their retirement, or people are just not financially disciplined? If you want, you have to choose between the two, or it's both.
Let me give you a political answer. It's yes and no. Right? It's no because we are all going to retire in the same economic space. So there's systemic risk. Right?
Okay.
So once you are retiring that thing, you have no excuse to say the economic situations is what is not making you prepare for retirement. For some of us, we are spent. I mean, it's the young bankers who have just joined. And when you join the banking environment, you must from day one start preparing for your retirement. You don't wait till 10 years and then you start preparing for the retirement. The good thing about the pension space when it comes to the pension law and all that is that and as bankers, you must be able to take advantage of the compounding interest and time value of money. If you are saving 100 Ghana cedis a month at 15% compound interest for 20 years, you end up getting about 303,000 Ghana cedis now if you started. You think about inflation, exchange rate, all those things. It doesn't matter. Because if I started 20 years ago, 303,000 Ghana cedis now is big money for me, despite all the inflation. If I have 303 Ghana cedis now, I mean, it's big money. Yeah. So in the same way, if you join and you start putting money aside, not consuming everything, but start putting money aside for your retirement, you realize that you have the balance of that fear of going on retirement will not happen. Also, the law gives us, okay, most of the banks have You have your tier 1, tier 2, which is mandatory, then which takes 18.5% tax advantage. You have 16.5 left. The 16.5 that you have left, maybe Provident Fund, banks do Provident Fund. So, and the Provident Fund will be you contributing, say, 5% or 10%. So let's say you are contributing 5%. You have about 11% left. You can then put that into a personal pension plan, right? Teller. If you want to remain a teller for so many years in the bank, I bet you, if you are 20 years as a teller and you don't add value to yourself, when I said empty your pocket into your head, and you don't do that, you have 20 years, right? 1 year's experience 20 times. You don't have 20 years experience in banking. You have 1 year's experience 20 times because you're doing the same thing. The only option you have now, if you don't, when Vivian was talking, he spoke about the social network and he spoke about psychology. So your whole thing is money because that's money you see. If the gifts you get over the counter, if you decide to say that I'm going to put all these gifts, right, all these allowances into tier 3, by the time you retire, you'll be a millionaire. Forget inflation, forget what is going, but you'll be in the millions. Yeah. And once in the millions, like I'm saying, if 20 years ago I started something and I have 303 now, despite what is happening in the economy, I'll be fine. Yeah. So the issue is small steps and small successes, taking advantage of the time value of money and the number of years. Because, you see, when there's high interest rate, your possibility of having a better pension over a long period is better. Yeah. Because if you take advantage of finance, the rule of 72, right? Take 72, divide by the inflation, the interest rate now. It will give you the number of years your money will double. So once interest rates are high, inflation is high, your consumption now you are suffering, your retirement will not suffer. I don't know whether I'm making sense. Yeah. But your retirement will not suffer. So if interest rates, what are the interest rates now? 30 or whatever? Yeah. 32.
91 is
into a tier 3 personal pension plan over 20-25 years, and you make money. Yes.
Thank you very much.
If I may make
Yes.
a contribution.
Please come in.
I think to add to what you've just said, one of the things that kills us as bankers is that on the 23rd, whether we close our eyes or we open our eyes, the money drops. So we get into auto receipts mood. So the money comes anyway, whether you're on leave or not, with no stress. Your account is credited. So we tend to enjoy it, and we don't know or we don't feel that a day is coming when the 23rd, it will be an empty account. Secondly, we get into the mood where we don't live within our means. It is one of the things that is killing us as bankers. We assume that because 23rd will come, let me empty it, let me buy things on credit. We don't even make a distinction between the things we need and the things we want. Yeah. Everything becomes a need. The item may be worth 1,000 cedis. You don't sit to think and ask, do I even need it? There was a story, not a fiction, it's real. A young lady who went to the market and bought an item, let's say this color of a shirt, and she loved the color. Oh, I like orange, so she buys it. takes it home, and forgot. And during another visit to the market, she saw the same color. And because that was something that she loved, she bought the same item, got home, only to realize that, oh, I already have this thing.
The same thing at home.
Same color. If she was making a distinction between what she needed and what she wanted, trust me, she would not have bought it. So it's one of the things that, if, as Doc is saying, those extra monies that you do not have in your normal budget, when it comes to you, save it. Why won't you have that typical old box at home? You know, you think it's old age, but trust me, it makes a lot of difference.
Yeah.
The money that you didn't expect, somebody comes to you, you smile at the person, you are a teller. 20 cedis, 50 cedis.
Also.
You take it and go and buy fried rice. Let me chill out. You are chilling today, you are chilling your future. Throw those monies into that box. The day you open it, you'll be amazed that, I've made up this saving so much. And then the other thing is that sometimes when we are working in the bank, we behave as if we are sponsors. Yeah. Everything that happens in the home, it is me. It is you who is the financier. Somebody is going to school, somebody is going to look for work, it is me. We don't even know when we have to say no. If you don't know how to say no, you are getting yourself ready for stress. You are getting yourself into a very bad state when you retire. Because when you retire and the money is not coming, and they don't see you as a sponsor anymore, you will lose that sense of
respect.
Respect, because you have tied your respect to your sponsorship. So who are you really? You must be somebody beyond being a sponsor, so that you'll be able to flow even in retirement.
Okay, thank you very much, Doc. Vivian, so the last slide that you showed, you saw a journey, someone 2022, 2023, maybe someone is 2050. What should a person start doing from today?
Okay, thank you. I think the earlier speakers have talked about that. We need to assess ourselves, as they said, man, know thyself, who you are, what you are looking to do in the future. So it's not just what you are today, but what you want to be in the future.
Okay.
Then you begin to take advantage of all the avenues that your work provides. So one of the things that happens as we age is that our health naturally starts going down. So, like he talked about, let's do our medical checkups. Let's know what it is. And then let's plan also. When you go for the financial planning, retirement planning workshop, don't go just because it's mandatory for you to go, your office is asking you to go, but go with an open mind to learn something. If not about finance, but about something that will help you in the future. And yes, please, those who, now that it's good and heartwarming to know that almost every bank is doing an EAP. EAP provides a lot of things. Even personal financial management, they provide that. They provide for services of counselors. Anyway, I don't know the kind of counselors, but you could get psychological services. Take advantage of that. Take advantage of every opportunity within your work environment to begin to plan. Just like when you were young and you wanted to work or to marry, and then you are picturing how your marriage will be. So think about how my retirement will be. I want to be healthy. I want to be strong. I want to be able to enjoy, go on trips, and do all these things. And then plan with all the resources that are around you. And resources are not only with you. Some are around you that you can take advantage of. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Vivian, for such a great response. At this point, we want to open up the discussion for questions and answers. We'll take some in-house and we'll also take some online. So if you are online, you want to ask a question, you can just unmute and ask your question. But I want to start in-house, then we'll go to online. So please, if you have any question on the presentation or what you have been discussing now, this is the time. We have 15 minutes of questions and answers. You can raise your hand, the mic will be given to you. You ask your question. Or if you're online, please unmute and ask your question. Do we have anyone starting for us? Okay, so we have a hand here. Mike.
Oh, thank you very much.
Thank
Mine is only a contribution to what has been discussed. I think one of the challenges that also bankers face is that they have the notion that when they go on pension, they'll be receiving monthly SNP pension money. But as President Roosevelt of the US said, the pension that they give you is only the icing on the cake, not the cake itself. So what does this mean? It means we should be able not only to save, but have an investment that during your pension, you'll be getting some returns from it. You should have your home, and you should also endeavor to have another home that will give you rental income. And if you're able to get a job to, as it were, on-retire, where that will also bring in some income, so that, and some other things as well, so that the pension that you get from SNP is just the icing, and you continue to live well, all things being equal. Vivian did mention some aspect about telling the nucleus family about your impending retirement. I want to also add that not only should you discuss it with your nucleus family, but again with the wider family as well as your church, because when you are in employment, you know, you often called to become the chairman of the harvest and so on. So, to let them know that the dependency on you will be somewhat curtailed as a result of that. And one should not be shy about that. Otherwise, you'll be cultivating as another stress for yourself. In addition to, if you didn't have your children early during your working life, it will mean that you should also let the school know that soon you will be paying the school fees yourself, as opposed to when your employer was paying it for you. You know, so that you have less stress for yourself. Thank you very much.
Thank you too. I think Doc wants to just add up to
yes.
what
Let me add that up to what you just said. I think you are perfectly right. The issue with the SNP is that at times we forget our basic. You see, employers also don't want to pay more make more mandatory payments. So your salary is, let's say, 5,000 basic. Your allowance is 10,000. It will be their interest to reverse it, but it's also in their interest to let it stay like that, because it's on the 5,000 that the payments are being made. So you are getting 15,000 and you are happy, but replacement income when you go on retirement will be without the 10,000. So that is where you have to use the 10,000 to do a personal pension plan on tier 3. Because your 10,000 is even more than your 5,000. So that is one area we need to look at. Also, the second one is telling your extended family. I mean, when you said that, I have a retired friend who says that when you are in retirement, you pay more. Because when you are working, your family members, when they come, you are not in, so they go away. But when you retire, you are home, permanent. So when they knock, you are there. And then you also want to keep up appearances. Bank manager or GCB bank manager. So what then happens is that you start giving, because you don't want them to think that you cannot give. And even when you are unable to say no, as Doc said, they think you are wicked. So it also depends on how you, because Vivian spoke about social as well. All your social has been with the bankers. All your social. You refused to extend your circle of social network, right? So what then happens is that when you go on retirement, the bankers, if you retire with your own people, everybody is thinking about himself or herself. So that network drops. That network just drops. Now you have to go to the same people that you were not minding. And I'm sure stress will set in, and all those issues will set in. So we must have a work-life balance, and that is very, very important. I read somewhere that says that your wealth is not the money you have. It's not necessary. Health is good, exercise is good, but it's your social network.
Thank you very much, Doc. Okay, the next question or contribution.
Okay. I've put up, I requested for this slide to be put up so my question could be in context.
Okay.
I see at the front end of the male sex and that of the female sex, and it's not just this slide, almost every presentation on retirement, this picture is painted. From a health point of view, could there be a bigger story around this picture that we are not, particularly as men, not paying attention to, for which reason all presentation would put the men in a vulnerable position, almost being supported to even walk?
Okay. Doc.
Thank you. So this one there, direct. So I'm happy he's a man and he's asking this question. So, you know, men do take a lot more risk in life. Vivian's presentation, typically the man you must settle before you can bring somebody in. So age-wise, the men are usually a bit more older than the women towards the end of life, or maybe when you have retired. And she clearly mentioned that you may retire 5 years before your wife or your spouse. And at that time, because you are already being in a certain routine, back and forth, now staying at home goes with its own stresses. And Dr. Odonko has talked about the other things, and then also Doc has also mentioned the other things that we need to do in our active life, which sometimes we are a little bit more fixed towards putting something on the table. So we do stress ourselves. And these, medically, we have what we call stress hormones in our bodies, which ultimately we may have to cope with. And these are some of the stress hormones, as they produce, can ultimately lead to some physical condition, including hypertension, and ultimately things around stroke. You know, of course, the heart, because once you have a lot of stress hormones, your heart beats faster than the way you are supposed to. You breathe faster than the way you are supposed to. And men, we do take some other riskier, lives. So towards the end, you will notice that, well, maybe the picture is also not fair because because there are women, when they grow also old, they will be like the man who is there. But by and large, it seems women are a bit more happier in their old age than the men. Why? Because, one, there's some kind of bonding. And I use my own family as an example. My mother was a teacher. So when we close from school, those days, they ran the shift. If she closes at 12 o'clock, we'll go and meet her in the house. If she goes for the afternoon shift, we will go and join her in her school. Then we will all go home. So there was already a very strong bond between the children and the mother. And by and large, you notice that a lot of these celebrities, musicians and things, they are always talking about their mother. But remember that every human being came out of two people. So the women, on one hand, are a bit more happier than the men, because at the time, we didn't have time for the family because we were looking for resources to manage the home. So I think that is one of the areas where we need to find a balance. And I'm happy we are having this conversation, because when I was younger, some of the things my father was telling me and how he was running around trying to fend for us, I have seen that I am there running around and I'm not having enough time for the children. And the children will be closer to their mother. And at the time that you will need the children to be with you, they will be with their mother. At that time, she will be old and still be smiling, and you will be bent over and holding your braces. So I think it's something very important that we really need to look at. We've talked about the fact that you may be older than your spouse. So at the time that you both be retiring, and then that routine life that you had. most of the time, I don't know, maybe for very senior executives, for the women, but by and large, no matter how busy the women are at work, they still find time. And I also, relate with it with my wife. My wife in the morning, she's able to wake up earlier, prepare food for the children before we all leave home. You see, but I am not able to do the same. But when I go to work too, I'm spending more time at work and not coming home earlier. So all these things will add on to that psychological challenge which we might not be able to manage, and then ultimately will end up in the physical challenge that will manifest as that health, that we are talking about. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I think.
Yes, this is just a follow-up what Doc said, but it's just by the way. You see, at times, as men, our children think that it's the mother that has paid all their fees throughout life. Because at times we give the money to the women to go and pay. So men, you also go to the school, go and pay, let the headmaster see you, because the children think that is all. And also, unfortunately, too, when we have all retired and they have the children and they are outside and they have a child, the mother is the one who goes. So she's looking fresh, traveling, and you, the man, you are left. This thing. So the men too, let's know how to nappies. Let's show them that we can also do some of those things, so that when they give birth outside, we join.
Very, very true. Yeah. Very true.
Yeah. But I think that it's the bonding that exists between the couple, which makes all the difference. Because I remember before I retired, I didn't even know my kids' teachers. I never attended PTA. I never attended open day. What was that animal? I had no idea what was happening. I was so focused on work. And he took up everything. I mean, he was such a different guy altogether. Until I retired, and then I went to the first open day. Then the teacher said, "Madam, this is your third child I am teaching. I have never seen you before." I was so embarrassed. I said, "But I'm the mother." I said, "Yes, I know you are the mother. But I know your husband. I don't know you. I know this man, he comes here for PTA. He comes for every open day, open whatever. But you have never been here." I said, "My work." And she said, "Yes, I know your work." But you see, because he was doing it, it didn't create a gap for us to think that, for the kids to think it is only daddy or it's only mommy. They understood that if it's daddy who is there, it is mommy as well. So when I started doing it, then I started enjoying it. And I felt a bit ashamed that, hey, what kind of work is this? You have no social life. You have nothing but work. So when you retire and you have not bonded well with your spouse, trust me, you will die early. But when you have bonded so well, because look, whatever happens, you'll retire one day. So bond well when you are working. Some of you guys use work as a mask to maltreat your spouses, to not work or bond well with them. Look, make time for them. Because when work is over, you will come and meet me. And when I say me, I mean me. Are you getting me? So when it is me, then make sure that the bonding is good. Yeah. Then you will enjoy your retirement. If not, what happens? The woman finds other things to do with her time. Yours is only work, work, work. Now the work is no longer there. So you get up in the morning and you are trying to cut communication with her. She doesn't know you. Yeah. The kids don't know you. They know their mom. They are all over the mother and not around you. So try and be in the space. Make time. Make time for holidays. Make time for relaxation. Well, if I say holidays, it is not to say travel abroad. Even Ghana, hey, yeah. In your home, we are not going to work. This weekend, it is a holiday for us. We enjoy. We relax. Treat yourself to something nice. And let life be enjoyed the way God has given it to us. We stress too much. We make money. We don't even have the energy to enjoy it. So by the time you are like this, and you want to enjoy it, the waste alone will not even allow you to enjoy it. So enjoy it small, small, small. Don't wait till you are 65 or 60. Everyday enjoyment makes you stay for long, and your mental health will be up there. And when you retire, you are a sweet old man or a sweet old lady.
Thank you very much, Docs. I think we'll take another question from Dr. Kofa.
Okay, so I have been enjoying the conversation and wanted to make a contribution in an area of and retiring into a business or trade. At least this is my 10th year of being on my own.
Wow.
After taking a voluntary exit. And the contribution I want to make to this is that you have a passion, you have something to do. Whilst we are working, as Doc mentioned, I know you have a lot of doctors there, but Dr. Darko. You know, we need to learn to do what we want to do in the future. So one of the things that I would add to this conversation is that as we are taking the monies and allowances, we should train to do the businesses we want to do when we exit from the formal business. You may be a banker, you have helped someone to buy 10 trucks. You may not be able to manage a bicycle. Because it's a different thing when you are in a very organized environment and you are helping people to buy trucks. If you get to do that yourself, it's a different thing. And most of the time, because we know that we've been helping people, we've been hearing their stories and things, we know how to be an entrepreneur. It's not automatic. So whilst we are earning money and we are getting to those areas we want to be, I just want to encourage us to learn to become entrepreneurs. I did not know the gaps I had in what I was doing until I went on a course. And I was supposed to do my own business plan in the way it should be done, in a simple business. And it was a struggle for me. Even though I know business plan, all kinds of things, but trying or learning to do it at that time became a difficulty. So I just want to encourage us, as he said, that it's very important that we spend money to train ourselves for what we would want to do in the future. That's all I want to say.
Thank you very much. We'll take the last question in-house, then we go online. So we'll take a question or contribution from the CEO.
Thank you very much, and thank you for the insights that you are sharing. I know there'll be vote of thanks at the end, but let me just say thank you, starting. I realized that when Dr. Idris Odonko was speaking, you were looking in my direction. To be honest with you, you were speaking to me. And I want to admit that, so thank you for that. This morning I woke up trying to dance with my 4-year-old as part of the bonding. I think I will do more, just by. But I used to work in banking, and I decided to move out of banking. I'm speaking to the transferable skills. It's an extremely difficult change to make because as a banker, you are in a very structured environment. But beyond that, I used to pay a mortgage of $2,400 when I was in the bank. When I was leaving, it moved to $8,000. That's more than almost 4 times what I was paying. So that in itself makes it practically difficult for people to transition because you are getting that loan as a banker at 5%. When you decide to leave, you get it at 25%. Today's environment, it may even be 50%. So that's a practical reality beyond the skills. So you must be a risk taker of a kind to actually make that transition. What advice would you give to people in similar situation that I was in a few maybe years ago? To say, how do you practically take that step? Because, first of all, the skills may not be there. Second, you are faced with the reality of paying more mortgage, unless you are going for a job that will give you more. And sometimes, no job gives you 8 times more. So practically, what's your experience and how do you get people out of? Because I believe there are a lot of people like me, perhaps in the industry, who need some advice and candid opinion from you. Thanks.
Okay, let me take that because I've also been in that experience before. Now, talk to all the bankers who, there are 2 ways of coming out of banking, planned and unplanned. Talk to those who have planned to come out. And I'm sure Dr. Akofa and the rest will tell you. They will tell you they wish they did that long time ago. Is that true? They wish they did that long time ago. You go through the fire, but you come out, you won't die. And like Dr. Danko said, the comfort you get when 23rd, right, is just a matter of course. But you see entrepreneurs coming begging for OD to pay salaries. Tells you stay where you are. Right? But like I said, anybody who has come out, me, I wish I came long time ago. Your 2,000 to 8,000, are you still not out? Are you dying? Are you dead? You are the CEO of CIB. Right? So it's the fear of the unknown. That is the planned. Unplanned. I'm spiritual, but I'm not religious. God has his own way of destabilizing you where he knows a future for you. He knows that you are so much in your comfort zone that you don't want to leave. If you are left the way you are with 23rd, you will not leave. So God can create banking crisis for you. And that is the time you start thinking. And that is the time you have to take advantage of it. Because you can cry that the cliche, the glass is half empty, half full. You can be crying about this. But those are the times that you find your passion and you really take advantage and move out. So basically I'm saying that I cannot answer that as to what you have to do, but I'm saying that those who have come out planned, have never regretted, and those who have come out unplanned and seen the glass as half full have never regretted.
If I may come in, I think that it is only the teenage pregnant lady, the young lady who says that you are not smart, so you got pregnant. Yeah. I'm smarter, I will not get pregnant. Only to find that she also gets pregnant as a teenager. Yeah. Why am I saying this? We have people who have gone through the mill, who have either planned or unplanned, experienced turbulence in their financial status as bankers. Either you decided to leave or you were thrown out by the system. Whichever way you are out. Please make sure that you learn from what we are talking about now. It is good we are discussing this. So if you are listening to us or watching us and you are in the banking sector now, don't feel too comfortable and say, where I am fine. Tomorrow is not guaranteed. Your bank may decide to merge with another bank and you are out of job. Even at the very top level, that is even where it's more shaky. So don't feel too complacent and comfortable. From day one, start planning. Planning ahead is what will make you feel comfortable. So whether the storms blow to the left or to the right, you'll be able to move out. Explore. What do you love to do? What are your hobbies? What are your likes? What are your dislikes? What are the things that you can do without sweating? What are the things that you can learn which will make you have transferable skills that when you are not in the banking sector, you can do something? Some of you are good bakers. Some of you are good seamstresses. You make your own dresses. Can you not make it for your colleagues? Can you not start doing event planning? There's a lot of things you can do. So start planning early. And don't be too complacent with the 23rd. 23rd, ubeko ukrum. And when you are going to that Chrome, what is there in your Chrome that you are going to enjoy? Make sure that you are planning very well and plan from today. You may have started work 10 years ago. You may not have thought about these things. But today, the pension man has told us what to do. And doctor has told us as well. Vivian has also mentioned it. And I'm saying from experience that please, every peso counts. Don't wait for the big money to say, now I am ready to save. Save from day one. And work with a budget. If you are working with a budget, it helps you plan properly. And your retirement is sweet. You will not have any mental health illness, not the bad one. You won't have the bad one because you have planned well and you will be good to go.
Okay. Thank you very much. I think at this point we want to take some questions or contributions online. So, Nolan, are you ready? Are there questions online? No questions. Do you have anyone's hand up? Okay, so I think contribution, okay. So from Sinad, then we'll take last contribution, then we'll bring the session to a close.
Okay, so a contribution. I think that sometimes if you sit back and process some of these conversations around pension planning, I think that the context we situate the conversation in itself puts pressure on people, because you find that a lot of the conversation is around your financial stability. And so it creates some form of anxiety that what's my cleared balance at age 60? But that's not what life is all about. Sometimes impact, community work, all that comes into the conversation. For somebody, the little you go back to your village and help in cleaning and help in communal labor, go to the classrooms where they have challenges to impact lives. And that is why I like the conversation around know thyself. What makes you happy? And what would you want to die doing? If it's about impact and community work, you start right from now. The anxiety is around the new beginnings when you are retiring. Anything you are not known to that you have to do at age 60 plus 1 day would give you anxiety. So know thyself, know what you want to die doing. Start whilst you are in active service. You may not need financial stability to enjoy your pension, but the impact you make to your community, that alone gives you a certain satisfaction that you may look younger when you left active service. So that's the contribution I want to make.
Okay, thank you very much, Sina. So at this point, we want to take the final words from, I'll start with Vivian, then we'll go to Dr. Odonko.
Okay, thank you. As we have said, retirement is a journey, it's not a destination. And you can have your best life in retirement. You can be who you really wanted to be, even in retirement. So keep exploring and take all the pieces of advice that people have talked about today. The most important is to plan. Plan ahead and don't plan alone. Even if you're a single person, you live within a larger society and a larger community. So plan with the people around you. And we've even talked about the church where you fellowship, so that when you plan ahead and you have the grace, you'll be able to live a good retirement.
Thank you very much. Dr. Udonko, final words.
Okay. A few tips which I think would help us enjoy our life now and then when we are on retirement.
Okay.
Eat well. That one the doctors tell us all the time. Yeah. Eat well. Sleep well. Relax. Have good sex. Bond well with your spouse. It's important. Bond well with your spouse. That social network is very critical. And make sure that you relax and are well groomed all the time. Because grooming itself also helps us have good mental state of health. Now, remember this. Life doesn't do anything to you. It only reveals who you really are. So if you are not strong and life throws even a pin at you, you will buckle. But if you are strong, no matter what comes at you, you'll be able to stand. And the things that happen to us, whether retirement or working or whatever, it's not supposed to make us bitter. It's supposed to make us better. So the question is, who are you? And are you going to die because things are coming at you, or you are going to stand strong? It's up to you. Who are you? Know yourself. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Dr. Isiedu.
Thank you very much. My last words will look at one. At the time that we are in full employment, it is always very important to build a very good network. And let's use the position. I would say that one of the reasons why people are scared beyond the financial maybe power is the position itself that they occupy. So my advice to each one of us here is that whilst you have the power now or the position, use it to the benefit of the society that we're going to live in. And we should all remember that this position will not be there forever. The other thing is also for those who employ us. I also want to request from the bosses or the managers to look at some maybe some good packages for the staff. We should think about all this because different people have different stress thresholds. And so what one staff can run around and do, the other staff will not be able to do. If we do not open up, especially from the HR, or if the bank has maybe some counselors to manage some of these things, if they don't open up for the staff to come and really share their challenges, ultimately they may keep all these things, and those things typically manifest at the time of retirement. The last thing is that as we age, I think in the financial sector, we all know the bell-shaped graph. As we age, there's a time that we are going to peak in whatever we do, whether we have positions or whatever. At a point in time, all our powers or the energy or the strength we have physically will start going down. And that is also a very important thing that we all need to understand and identify, that we will not be as strong as we are. If you look at that picture that our colleague was alerting us to, or averting our minds to, no matter what you do, even if you retire happily, you have all the money, all the network, one day your own strength will give up. And lastly, for those who ultimately would want to risk and involuntarily retire, whether it's planned or unplanned, remember that emotions are also involved. I want to bring this home a bit to my own profession. Somebody can be a CEO of the biggest hospital in the country, but he can't run his own private hospital because the systems are already in place and you fit into it. You have the staff you can control. Now, when you have to recruit your own staff and manage them, that can be a problem. So my final advice is that for all of us, our strength will not be the same all the time. As we age, it will go with a bit of mental challenges. It will go with physical challenges. And we need to build our network now so that at the time we have retired, we can still have these people around us who will help us to manage the post-retirement period. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Siedu. Now, we take our final words from Dr.
Yes.
Usman.
I have 3 issues I want to talk about. The first one, actually, I want to talk about the youth who are joining banking. Like I said, some of us, we are spent. So we are now we are in crisis management and now trying to find something. But the youth have time. The youth must agree to forgo involuntary inconveniences for a higher future. And I explained this with myself. I met my wife outside. We came to Ghana. I lived in my mother's house. We were sharing 2 rooms. One room for myself and my wife. The other room for, I had 2 girls at that time. Anybody could come and visit my mother. I don't have control about who comes and who goes. We lived there for about 6 years. Then we said, okay, let's go. We want to be on our own. My father-in-law had a boys' quarters. So we moved into the boys' quarters. I was working in the bank. We moved into a boys' quarters. You think I like to live in my father-in-law's boys' quarters. But money not spent is money saved. So I was using the money to build a house, right? After 10 years, I had my own house. Then we moved into it. If I want to do, as we say, a biggie do, right? I could have gone to rent a house. And I'll not have a house on my own because I'll be giving the money to somebody. So what then happens is that there are certain involuntary inconveniences you have to go through as youth. As now, I'm using Infinix phone. I'm sure my kids are using iPhone, right? But what Infinix is doing for you, the iPhone is just a status symbol, right? The difference, you can start putting it into anything you want to do. Two things, that's one. Two things, that is involuntary inconvenience for a higher purpose. The next thing is that I know you don't do with money. You don't marry with money, you don't build with money. You can't say, I want a pot of gold, a pot of money that I start building. By that time, inflation and things would have eaten through. You can also say, I want to make money, then I marry. I don't know, the ladies. You can also say that. So what then happens is that you'll be surprised. A man, at some point you need a partner, and the partner could bring synergy. Right? So what you couldn't do alone, with a partner, you realize that what you have to do will be done faster. Like Dr. Odonko said, because she had the husband, what she was able to do what she wants to do. So, and now, fortunately or unfortunately for the youth, now the men want a woman who is working. The men now don't want, the young boys, they don't want to come and stay at home. That's the good side. The other side too is that the women too want to be independent. So you have conflict. So the woman that you've met wants to build her own house, goes to get a mortgage, 1 bedroom. You, the man, you've got a mortgage, 1 bedroom. Right? You decide to marry and realize that your 1 bedroom is not working for you. Your 1 bedroom is not working for you. What are you going to do? But if you start early and you start to have joint thinking, you realize that you'll be able to get there. Also, getting land. Why don't you buy land, young guy? We think that building is 10 years. It will come and meet you. Right? Now the mortgage market, like the CEO said, is dollar linked. You will never finish paying. But have involuntary inconvenience. Go and live in your in-laws or whatever. Don't be shy about it. Because of that, when I was building my house, I built an outer house just in case my wife goes and doesn't gets a man like me, they can come and live there for some time. So start building. With time, you finish your house. I don't think anybody finishes their house before they live in. Those who have built. It reaches some time, you realize that to go and get this thing to, Charlie, it's not painted, but I'll get in. And as you get in, you start, but if you see Trasaco, a young guy, want to have finished product, you have challenges. The last I'll go into is, the institute. The employers, Dr. Sedu spoke about the employers helping. The banks don't like bad reputation. The banks, and like I think Doc Odonko said, if you retire from Bank A, and they realize that everybody who retires from Bank A is in near poverty, it's not good for you. Chartered Institute of Bankers, I want you to do a survey of people who have retired from various banks and publish. Do a survey of those who have retired from all the banks and publish, and you realize that banks will start now looking after EAP, start looking after, because they don't, it's a fact, but it's bad reputation for them. Until you push them, until they see the effect of what bad retirement on their brand, banks will not move. So the last is the challenge to the Institute of Bankers, Chartered Institute of Bankers, to do a survey on those who have retired. Number of people who die, number of people who are doing well. Now, just publish the statistics. And I'm sure banks will now start taking care and giving health packages to staff who have retired. So that's what I want to say.
Thank you very much, Dr. Usudaku. Let's do it better for them. Let's do it better for them. Because of our time, this is where we will end the discussion session. So let's give it better to them as they take their seat. And we want to prepare for the second session. So we want to invite Fit Link from University of Ghana to take over from here. They are going to give us a short presentation, and I will enter into the aerobics. Are they ready? Fit Link?
but later will be greater. Don't judge me now. Judge me later. Don't judge me now.
That's cool on the beat. Purchase your tracks today.
Copy dollar on the track.
Hello.
Hello.
You won't join them.
Yes, you being bankers, we realize that you'll be doing a lot of the sitting.
Hello.
Yes, and it requires that you need to get up to stretch, get the blood circulating again, because sometimes you sit for long and then your lower body, your lower extremities become a bit numb. All right, so there's a way for you to, we have the chairs here, there's a way for you to go about some of these things. Be able to even get your cardiovascular exercise right there in your seat. All right, much as you also being bankers, it means that you may not necessarily have a lot of time to work out, but then within your office at home, maybe 10 to 15 minutes, 20, 30 minutes, depending on how much time you have up your hands. You can do something to get yourself going and to keep yourself alive. We don't want to see you in the next 10, 15 years with different conditions. And then the bank has to also put in money to help you alleviate some of these health conditions. So without much ado, I'd have my colleague come here. He'll be working with you with the chairs. So just feel free, when he asks you to sit, you sit, and then let's get these through. Try and then keep them in mind, because you need them in your offices. All right, thank you.
I don't know if it's morning, but yeah, so it's still morning, a blessed morning to all of us. And then I'm Prince from the University of Ghana Sports Directorate. So today we'll be focusing on how to use the chairs. Basically, if you're in your office and you need to work out, you are physically challenged, you are aging, and probably your joints can actually keep you standing for long. So we'll focus on these. There are a few activities that you can do, and then sports engaging activities that you can do, which are good for you. with the whole pension and aging thing. We're talking about walks. A lot of people do not see walking as an important exercise, but it's really good for you as you are aging and then probably heading. So from 40 years, we say your body is beginning to deteriorate, and then walking is good because it doesn't put too much pressure on the joints. So swimming is another one which is really good. We are in a space where we do not promote swimming because we say insure, and then people drown and all of that. But it's a life skill that some of us did not benefit from. But I think our kids, so you learn it. It's something you can do till God calls you. It's the only sport you can do, no matter how old you are. Once we drop you in the pool, you should be able to swim because the water actually helps to cushion your joints. Even if you have bad joints and you find yourself in the pool, you can do that. So swimming is also very important. We also spoke about gardening. These are things that you shouldn't wait to get to pension to do. You can actually introduce yourself to it, and as you grow, it gets better. In the days of old, our fathers and grandfathers, they could walk longer distances. They did their gardenings in their homes. They scrubbed their own washrooms. They washed their own cars. They bathed their own kids. They did their dishes. They pounded their own fufu. Today, we do not have that. The fufu is done somewhere and is served to us and we eat, and then we are still sedentary. We are sitting. Monday, we come to work. We are sitting. We drive to work. We sit. So these are things that you should try as much as possible to introduce into your own lifestyle. Don't be a reactive person. Don't wait till you are 60 and then a health issue hits you and then you are coming to the gym or you are starting a fitness lifestyle because you want to correct. It's good, but then let's be proactive. It's not for anybody. It's for you yourselves. So let's see how we can be proactive citizens, proactive individuals. And some of these things, they also help with family bonding. Saturdays, you go for walks. Sundays, you go for swimming. You do family exercises together. I listened to a presentation where they said fathers are never around. But I see so many men do walks. And then I ask sometimes, where are their kids? Where are their wives? So these are times that you can also bond with your family. So without much ado, we can start with today's session, and then we can take it out from there. So there are chairs behind you. Let's sit. And then I'll just ask my DJ to just do some small thing for me, and then we play. Please, at any point you want to work out, be sure you have medical clearance to work out. Because people died from... No, don't worry, it's fine. Today we'll do very basic things. But people have died trying to be healthy. You understand where I'm coming from? So if you have to work out, if it's not something you have been doing or you have done for long, please get medical clearance before you work out. And then know yourself. Don't compete with anybody. When you work out to a point where your body tells you, cool down, please cool down. Your body says, oh, you can challenge yourself a bit. There's room for you to challenge yourself, but you know yourself better than I do. I am just a coach who will say, let's go. But you can check me and say, my heart is not telling me to go. And then we hold it there. So individual differences still come into play at this point. So whatever you are doing, know yourself, know thyself, and then we work from there. So once you have medical clearance, and then we are good to work out, we are good to go. You start at a very slow pace, and then you pick up, you cool off, we stretch, and then we call it a day. So today, we're going to start from this position. All I want us to do, my DJ, I mean, now you can show me love. Yeah. Okay. So just tap. These are things you can do in the office. 1, 2. Grandpa and grandma can do this with you, yeah. And at any point you can keep breathing. Don't keep your lips zipped. Don't do this. So keep breathing. Double leg forward now. Ta. Nice. Ta. Good. Ta. And when you move your legs forward, you realize that your stomach walls get stretched and they engage. So keep your walls engaged. Keep them tapped. There you go. Nice one. There you go.
This is taking
nice
control of the full
Nice one. Now let's jack it up. Good. Nice. Good. Open and close. Good. Nice. Good.
So he's working on the range of movements.
Good.
Different angles.
Good. Now don't sit and relax. Keep your back straight. Stay forward. Good. Don't relax. No, stay forward. Nice. Good. Are your shoulders hurting already?
So sit upright.
Okay, let's go. Nice. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
As simple as this
8,
looks, you can do this in the
9.
office.
Alternate your legs now. So what? Good. You can do this in your office. Yeah, you can do this in your office. Good. No pressure. 1, 2. Breathe in. 3. Good. 4. Good. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right. Keep your hands in front of you. 5, 4, 3. Clap. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
So this focuses on your
6,
shoulders and your back.
7, 8, 9, 10. One leg up. 1, 2, 3, 4. Try and engage your quads. 5. Engage the muscles there. 6. Good. 7, 8. Is it aching? 9. Good. 1. 10. Let's switch. 1. Good. 2. Nice push. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Hold the seats. Good. No pressure. No pressure. Hold the seats. 1, 2.
So you kick it out.
3, 4. Nice. 5. Good. 1. 6, 7.
It's working
8.
on the
Let's
lower
go.
abs
9.
and then also on your
10.
thighs.
Alternate now. 1. Switch. 1. Let's go. 2. Nice. 2. Let's go. 3. Good. 3. Let's
Nice
go.
and
Keep breathing.
easy.
4. Good. 4. Let's go. 5. Good. 5. We almost there. 6. Good. 6. Nice push. 7. Good. 7. Nice. 8. 8. 9. 9. 10. 10. Elbows back. Good. Let's go. 2. Good. Let's go. 3. Good. Elbows
So
back.
this is a
Nice.
front
4.
row.
Good. Let's go. 5. Beautiful.
Back,
Let's go.
shoulders,
6.
your chest.
Good. Let's go. 7. We almost there. Let's go. 8. Good. We almost there. 9. Good. We almost there. 10. Good. 1. Now watch. So 1. Open your legs to the side. I see somebody breathing in somewhere. You'll be fine. Your arms go in front of you. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Just forward. 1. And back. Keep your core engaged. You ready? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's go. 1. Nice. 2. Good. 3. Good. 4. Good. 5. Good. 6. Good. 7. Good. 1. 8. Good. 9. Good. And rate this now. 1. Ta. Ta. 2. Ta. Ta. Let's go. Let's go.
Down, forward, down, up.
Beautiful.
Down, forward,
Good.
down, up.
Let's go.
Down,
Forward. Back.
down, up.
Let's go.
Down,
Forward. Back.
down,
Let's go.
down,
Beautiful.
Forward,
Good.
down, up.
Let's go.
Down, forward.
Good
down,
one.
Up.
Let's go. Let's go. We're almost there. 2 more. Last push. 1. Take it up. 1. Let's go.
So now
2.
we sit.
So no pressure. Let's go now. 1. Let's go. 2. Nice push. 3. Good. 4. Good. No pressure. 5. Good.
Nice
No
and
pressure. 6. Good. Let's go. 7. Good. We almost there. 8. Good. We almost there. 9.
This gets blood
Good. We almost
circulating
there.
in your lower
10.
extremities.
Beautiful. Now we stand behind the chair. So good. 1. So good.
And bear in mind, this can be done by the retirees. So once, if you're going on retirement, you're on retirement 60
You
plus,
can do all
you
of
can
this.
still do some of
You
these
can do
things.
this. So there's always a support system for you. You're not by yourself. And usually at that age, we have a problem with balance, stability, joint strength. So there's always a support for you. You're not just by yourself. So at this point, you hold the chair. We start with the leg raises. Right leg, ta. Nice push.
To the side.
Ta. Good. Keep breathing. Ta. Nice. Let's go. Keep those flexors engaged. Keep those flexors engaged. Let's go. 1. Good. 2. Good. 3. Good.
Try to
4,
be in control.
Good. 5. Good. 6. Good. 7. We're almost there. 8. Good. 1. 9. We switch it up. Let's go. 1.
To the other side.
The other side. Nice push. 2. Let's go. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Can we kick back? Good. 1, 1. Let's alternate. 2, 2,
So
3,
the muscles and the
3.
butts
Good
are being
one.
worked
4,
together with the hamstrings.
4. Good one. 5, 5, 6.
And you need
6,
these muscles to
7,
walk.
7.
The
8,
butt muscles, the hamstrings.
8. You're almost there. 9, 9, 10, 10. Kick back. 1. Nice. 2. Good. Just kick back. Nice. 3. Are your hamstrings engaged? Good one. 4. Good. So your heel towards your butt. Beautiful. 5. Nice push. 6. Good. 6. We're almost there. 7. Good. Let's go. 8. Good. Let's go. 9. Good. Let's go. 10. Good.
Nice and easy.
Now switch. 1. Good. 2.
So we're getting in some coordination
Good. 3.
there as well.
Let's go. 4. Back
Remember,
upright.
as you age,
Good.
your coordination
5.
also reduces.
Good.
But you
6.
need to practice to keep it
Good.
going.
7. You're almost there. Good. 8. Beautiful push. Good. 9. Knees to elbow. 1. Good. 2.
So we are adding your abs,
Good.
your stomach.
3. Knees to elbow. Beautiful. 4. You're doing good.
Very good.
Good. 5. Good. 6.
A very good cross
Amazing
tack.
work. Good. 7. You're almost there. Good. 8. Good. 9. Good. 10. Now we're gonna kick out. Watch. 1. Ta. 2. Ta. No pressure. 3.
Don't forget, you have the
Ta.
chair in front of you.
4. The
for
chair will
support.
always give you that support. All right. 5. And remember what I said. 6. You're working at your own pace. 7. You're not competing with anybody. 8. Good one. Let's go. 9. Let's go. 10. Let's stop. Good. 1. Let's go. Good. 2. Let's go. I want the steps wider. All right. Good. 1. Ta. 2. Ta. Good. 3. Ta. Good. 4. Ta. Good. 5.
Still getting
Ta.
coordination
Good.
in.
6. Ta. Good. 7. You're almost there. 8. Good. 9. Now we stand behind the chair. 10. So right behind it. Step to the side. 1. Bring it back. 1. Bring it back. 1. Good. Bring it back. 1. Good. Bring it back. 1. Good. Bring it back. 1. You realize
You
my
add a
steps
bit
are
of
wider.
flair.
1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. No
Remember,
pressure.
in talking about
1.
the fitness,
1.
you said it should be
1.
enjoyable. It should be fun.
Good.
So you
Nice.
add a bit of flair
1.
to it.
Beautiful. Bring it back. Forward. Bring it back. Good. Forward. Bring it back. Good. Forward. Bring it back. Beautiful. Forward. Bring it back. Good. Forward. Are you ready? Forward. Good. Forward. Good. Forward. Good. Forward. Good. Forward.
Touch. Up.
Good. Forward.
Touch.
Let's go. Good. Forward.
Touch. Up.
I'm not asking for too much. Forward. Good.
Touch. Up.
Let's go. Forward. Good. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, let's stand by the chair. On the
Awesome,
side of the
awesome.
chair. Good one, and we're good. So last one, and then I call it a day. Yeah. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Touch. Let's go. Touch.
Up.
Keep breathing. Touch. Good. Let's go. Touch. Good. Touch. Good. Touch. Good.
In
Let's
doing
go.
this,
Touch.
he's using his knees.
Good.
He's
Good.
using his hips.
Full body workout.
shoulders.
Good. Let's go.
So
Nice
the knees
one.
bend
Good.
when he
Let's
goes
go.
down.
Beautiful. Good.
The hips also
Good.
are involved in
Let's
the
go.
movement.
Good.
It's a full
Nice
body
one.
thing.
Let's go. Good. Let's go. 2 more. Good. 1 more. Tap forward. Good. Tap. No pressure. Tap.
Very good.
No pressure. Ta. Good. No pressure. So when you lower your body a bit, you build the strength around your knees. because the quads are engaged. Right. See? Good. There you go. So, good. Let's squat. Good. Good. Let's squat. Keep breathing. Good. Let's squat. Good. Let's go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right. Now keep your arms up at this point. Good. Ta. Good. Ta. The knee comes above the hip, so I can get your lower core engaged as well. Good. Ta. Ta. Nice push. Ta. Ta. Amazing work. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Good one. Now let's open the legs up. Open up a bit wider. Good. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now we slide on the side. All right. What I need you to do is to drop your whole body weight on your obliques. Yeah. Good. Let's go. Ta. Let's go. Ta. Nice one. Good. Let's go. 1, 2, 3. Keep breathing. 4. Good.
A good set of
5,
obliques
good.
would help you
6.
be
Good.
more functional.
7. Good. 8. Good. 9. 10. Turn your own body around. So go around your own body. 1. You get it. 1. Nice. 1. 1. Good. 1. Let's go. 1. Nice. 2.
So you're doing a
2.
twist.
Nice. 3. 3. Nice. 4. Go around your own body. 4. Good. Let's go. 5. 5. Good. 6. 6. We're almost there. 7. 7.
It
Good
involves
one.
your leg
8.
movements as well.
8. Good. 9. 9. We're almost there. 10. 10. Now keep your legs slightly closed. Drop. Pa. 1. Drop. Pa. 2. Good one. Drop. Pa. 3. Let's go. Drop. Pa. 4. Good. Drop. Pa. 5. Drop. Good. 6. We're almost there. Drop. 7. Drop.
Don't forget your leg
8.
movements.
Drop. 9. Drop.
It makes it a lot
10. Now we
easier
straight to
with
the other
movements.
side. So we start from the other side. You ready? 1. Ta. Let's go. 2. Ta. Let's go. 3. Ta. Let's go. 4. Ta. Let's go. 5. Ta. Let's go. 6. You're almost there. Go to 1. 7. Good. Keep breathing. Let's go. 8. Go. Let's go. 9. Good. 1 more. And 10. Amazing work. The chairs are yours. Let's sit. Good one.
Well done.
So,
well done.
interesting. Everything you did was within the 15 minutes. It may have looked so long, but it's only 15 minutes. And this is something you can do before washing down for work, before washing down to sleep. You know, just people say they don't have the time. Nobody ever does. We all make the time. Yeah, so until it becomes a priority or important for you, you never make the time for it. So on your scale of preference or on your list of important things you need to do, factor it in. 15 minutes a day, consistently. It's not a bad shot to call. And I think it's something that you can solely be responsible for. Nobody can do it for you. Nobody will do it for you. That's the sad thing about fitness or wellness. Nobody will do it for you. Now, when you go to the hospital, the topmost prescriptions are medication. On their medication is exercise and food. I don't know if you've realized, whatever medication they give you, they will tell you you need to start exercising and check your diet. Whatever medication they give you. So let's be proactive. Nobody can do it for you until you decide to do it for yourself. So it is what it is. It was nice having you. Let's stretch and then we'll call it a day. So just put your right leg. Don't put it on the kneecap. Put it on the thigh. So above. Good. Nice one. Now open it up a bit. As you open, you should feel that stretch in your groin and pelvic area. Here. It should be there. So try. It's an area that most of us who do sedentary lifestyles, we don't engage. So place your right hand on the kneecap and then open up a bit. So you should feel that stretch in there. Good one. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Amazing work. Grab hold your toes. Right arm. Grab hold the right toes. Extend it out. It's okay. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Amazing work. Now drop it gently. Cross the other over. Nice. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Place the left arm on the left knee and then open up a bit. Feel that stretch in there. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Great job. Grab hold your toes. Extend all the way out. Try as much as possible to keep the legs extended. All right, don't keep an angle in there. Keep it extended. I know it's difficult, but it's okay. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Great job. Bring it down gently. Both of them. Extend both legs out. Good. Extend both of them out. And try reach for your toes. Keep your core engaged. Keep the knees locked. Don't bend the knees. So keep it locked and then reach for your toes. That's all. If you can't get there, just get to your max. Exhaust your range of motion. Just get to where you can get to. 10, 9.
As far as your
8,
body
7,
would allow you.
6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Great job. Now let's sit well. Both arms go up. Good one. Drop and drop. Good. And now chest out. Align your back. Good one. And this is how the human body is actually supposed to be aligned. So if you find yourself always in this position, it's wrong. Your human body is supposed to be like that. You know, a lower back, your chest back, your back fully straightened, always. So be like that. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Grab hold the right elbow and press down. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Grab hold the left. Press down. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Place the left arm just on the side of your head and just drop it. Don't bend too much. Don't put too much pressure on it. Just drop.
Gently.
Feel that stretch here. Your neck. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Switch to the other side. Gently. Yeah. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Both palms interlock behind your head. Now don't bend like that. Yeah, just your head. So just press. So that stretches in the back of your neck or head. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Palms under your chin. Good. And then let's take it up. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Arms on the kneecap. Come up slowly. Good. Now push the knees forward and back. Knees forward and back. Stay flat-footed. Knees forward. Flat foot. Stay flat foot. Good. And back. Let's
Nice
go
and
flat
easy.
foot and back. One more. Flat foot and back. Now hold the kneecap. Let's move in a cycle. 1, 2, and 3. Reverse. 1, 2, and 3. Amazing work. Palms on your waistline and I'm done. Yeah. So palm on your waistline. You open up outside your shoulder width. Good. Let's go all the way down. Good. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1.
Like pushing
Slowly
your
to the
hip
other side.
out.
Good. Allow it to go out and forward. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Keep your back lines as straight as possible. Keep looking forward. Look at me. Don't look down. Good. And as you go down, don't look down. Good. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Let's bring it up slowly. Don't look back, yeah? Some of you may fall back. Keep looking forward and push your waistline forward. Don't look back. Keep looking forward. Don't look back. Look forward. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6,
Look
5,
forward,
4,
look
3,
forward.
2, and 1. Now come forward slowly. Good. Open up. We breathe in. My last drill. We breathe in. And out. We breathe in. Calm down. Good.
In
And
breathing
out.
in, you fill your tummy with
When you
air,
breathe in,
not your chest.
fill up. Last
Your
one,
tummy
let's
with
breathe in.
air.
Fill up. Drop positive energy inside. Good. And then let go of all the negative energy. Family stressing you, wife, husband, whatever, let it go here. It's okay. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. It was nice having you. We cannot do all of it in a day. So you need to do the rest by yourselves. Thank you. Yes, please. Yes. Yes, I'm sure it was recorded, but that on the side, I'll work on a video and I'll leave it here for you. Yeah, thank you.
So we'll leave you with the message. Don't wait till it's too late. If you want to work out, or if you want to get fit, start now so that it becomes a habit before 60. Let's not wait for any condition. Let's start now. by 60, we're already cruising. Thank you very much. This is FitLink Ghana. Myself, Marshall Norte, and
I'm Prince Hussein from the University of Ghana Sports Directorate. We look forward to seeing you again, and we pray that it shouldn't be an annual visit. You don't need to see me. Wherever you find yourself, if it's not a gym, if it's your home, if it's your office, you can always stay active. I'm not far from reach. I'll leave my number. If you need any fitness advice, I'll be ready to give you. But don't wait for me. Don't wait for a coach. Yeah, you can do these things. They are basic. Gardening, sweeping, cleaning your car. They are basic things you can do at home. Yeah, so it was nice having you, and thank you. See you when we see you. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Hello. I believe we are feeling good now. Okay, so we are bringing the session to a close. We want to take closing remarks from the Vice President of the Institute, Mr. Samuel Menu Isiama. Let's give it up to him as he comes to give us the closing remarks.
Yeah, thanks for the opportunity. I think it's been a day well spent. Good exercise and a lot of education. I remember when I turned 60, I was on board a plane and the pilot happened to be a friend. So I told him, Jack, I'm 60, I'm retiring. He said, okay. You know what? It means that you have eaten 3 bags of mini salt, the mini bag. It means you have eaten 3 of them. There's more for you to eat. Number 2, it means you have been 20 for 3 years. The first 20 was for your parents. They were looking after you. The next 20, you were preparing to find a spouse. Now, the third 20 was for your spouse and your children. The next 20 is yours to enjoy. So after 20, after 60, you are now going to live for yourself. So the number 60 is just a number. But most importantly, how is your health? Are you healthy? If you are healthy, then that is fine. And on top of that, what your mindset, do you feel in your mind that you are tired? Does your mind feel tired? If your mind is not tired, you are healthy, then there's nothing to worry about. What I have learned today from the 3 great doctors and Madame Vivian is that it's never too late. In the traffic here, I saw a certain gentleman who was selling some writings on the board. And one struck me so much. He said, I came here to find a living, to make my home better, and not to compete with my friends. He only came to Accra to see how he can make life better at home and not to come and compete with his colleagues. So it is never too late. We have different stress levels. Even what was discussed in the first lesson could be beyond the stress level of somebody. Somebody could beat up his head and say, it means I have failed. It means all that they were doing, they were saying, I didn't do any of them, so I have failed. Please, the Bible says, know thyself. What you can do, whatever you have done, it's enough. You can always start, no matter the age. So have patience for yourself, tolerate yourself, whoever you are. Take the lessons and see how you can make something out of them. I wish that this lecture was held in 1984 when I joined the Institute. Those days, we didn't have the benefit of this kind of lectures. Perhaps I would have done certain things differently. But it is good it has come now. If I cannot practice it, I can tell my children to practice it. So please, nobody should judge himself at this point. I encourage you, you still can be something to a certain community, even if not in Accra here. I am a traditional ruler. Go to your community. You can be of something to somebody in the community. There are many people in your village who wish that they are in your situation. So never condemn yourself. Never beat yourself on the head and say, I've lost because of what has been said. They are said so that we can improve ourselves. They are said so that we can share with other people. Life is not only in Accra. Your community needs you. There's a small community somewhere. You can go and just be writing their letters for them. Life is worth living. So please, let's take these lessons, work with them, live them, transfer them to other people. Remember, your stress level is different from mine. What I can tolerate, you may not be able to tolerate. It doesn't make you a failure, but that is you. So the Bible says, know thyself. A lot of things were said here, and I'll not be able to recollect all of them, but I've written a few down. I believe some of us also remember some of them. I would just say that it's been a day worth spent here, and we met some very interesting people. The 3 doctors were here, the retirement expert. He gave us some assignment. I'm sure CEO has noted it. We'll try to do that research and publish it and see how it will resonate with the banks. It will be very interesting. We ourselves will study. Let's see what has been the retirement life of the employees of each bank. How many of them have we lost? How many of them are properly established? That'll be an interesting thing to look at. And I also believe that this session, like we discussed, a thought leadership paper we prepared so that we can all share. Now, those of us who are online, I'm sure you also benefited from the exercises and whatever we said here. But those who did not come, let's share with them. So that if we call again, that come and let us listen to issues like this, will come in our numbers. And more importantly, we get to know who to approach when we have difficulty. Dr. Donko, I'm sure she would like to talk to you anytime you have a difficulty. And our big friend, Dr. Usudaku, I'm sure he also like to be your friend when you have a difficulty. And the doctor himself, the medical doctor who has left, Siedu, and then our own friend Vivian is also there. Let's keep the conversation. Let's keep the contacts. We thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Siama. Okay, so this session was recorded. We'll upload it and share the link with all of us so that in case you missed out on anything, you can also go back and watch it. We also have an assessment that will be placed on our platforms, evaluation. We want you to complete it for us so that going forward, you know areas that we can improve upon. At this point, we want to invite Dr. Akofa here to give us the closing prayer. Let's be on our feet as we invite her.
Good afternoon. Oh, good afternoon. I still you have some small energy there to close the session. So on behalf of the board, the Council of Chartered Institute of Bankers, we want to say a very big thank you for being with us from morning till noon. Most Saturdays are packed, and we're told that sometimes they render us like Kontomre. But you found it very necessary and have been with us. We appreciate you so much. Our first appreciation goes to God who gave us life and weather, good weather. You believe, you understand that if there were to be storms and other things, we wouldn't have been able to come. But God gave us a very good weather, and we ourselves, we are in good health, so we are grateful to God for that. We also want to thank our panelists. They have done very, very well. Special mention, Dr. Kofi Owusu, Daku, FCIB. We also appreciate Dr. Mrs. Beatrice Odonko, ICIB, Dr. Endes Asiedu, and Mrs. Vivian Abin. We are grateful to you for preparing yourself to give us this health talk. In fact, even the Bible made it critical, and I know Quran will have it, and other religious books. Health is critical, and God is interested in our health. God is interested in our good health and prosperity. So with all the opportunities they have given to us, we are grateful that we have been part. Special thanks to our media team, photographers, and teams management. I know I'll give you a little bit of tough time, but we have managed it, and I'm so grateful that you've been able to cope. And then our team from University of Ghana, the Fit Link, we appreciate the tips and the tricks you have given to us. Now, no excuse. Right in your office, in your bedroom, you have opportunity to keep yourself fit. So we appreciate you. The staff of the Institute, CEO as the leader, thank you so much for putting this together. And our colleagues online, thank you. We appreciate your time with us. We hope that you have enjoyed the session with us. And our moderator, thank you for moderating the session for us. So on that note, we want to be on our feet and then take a closing prayer. Ebenezer, Nyame na domarakwa. If there's someone I have not mentioned, we appreciate you. Council members present, we thank you. Nasiman, etu Ebenezer, Ebenezer, Anyamen adomarakwa, akainyo nyamya yamao. Nafa nasi mano. Dear Lord, we give you thanks and bless you for the opportunity to take part in this opening session of our 2022 Bankers Week. We know that it's only by your grace we are alive. It's only by your grace that we have opportunity to be here. All that we have learned, we commit into your hands. Our prayer is that you give us the benefit of our learning. Let us remember these that we have discussed. Let us put them in use. Let's have the courage to practice them. Even when we are failing, may we have the strength to continue. And as we learn and experience, Father, we are asking that we should be able to share with our other colleagues so that the tradition will go on. Our stories will be different as we age. Our stories will be different as we exit from our current positions. Our stories will be different even at the point of death, so that we ourselves will know that truly we've been part of this institute and we have benefited from these exercises. In Jesus' name we pray. We commit the rest of our activities into your hands. The conference, the graduation, the dinner, every other thing we are going to do, we commit unto your hands. We pray that God, may they all be successful. In Jesus' name we pray with thanksgiving. Amen. And to remind our members that this is just the beginning, we have other activities. Do join us. Thank you very much. Conference, banking conference. I'm sure the CEO will give us the details. Let's put our hands together for him. He's been part of the exercise. He did well. I was watching from my back.
Thank you. So, as I mentioned, today is the beginning of a week-long Bankers Week celebration. We started with the Health Summit. On Tuesday, which is the 8th of November, we have our Bankers Conference, the 26th National Bankers or Banking Conference. And that will take place at the International Conference Center. And we're expecting everybody to be there. We'll have the governor as our guest speaker. And you know the current environment, you better listen to the governor. We also have a conversation, a lecture to be delivered by someone who is really on top of issues, and he will tell us how we navigate the current challenges to how we capture the opportunities. You know, it's said that the Chinese have a way of painting crisis, and they use two brush strokes. One is for opportunity, the other is the real crisis. So in this turbulent time, there could be opportunities, so we'll have a discussion about that. But we'll also state a claim on the future of banking education, professional banking education, and put on the agenda ethics and professionalism. There will be a panel discussion on ESG, environmental, social, and governance issues. So I think it's a very well-loaded conference. And so we'd expect that you'll be there. And then, of course, on Saturday, we have graduation and induction of close to 200 human capital that has been produced by the Institute. And these are qualified bankers going into the industry, some already in the industry, to make a difference and to push the agenda of professionalism. And so, in summary, we have very exciting times. On the 2nd, we have the Governor's Day, which is a dinner. And so we would expect all of us, members and friends of the Institute, to participate fully. And so, if you ask me, today has been exciting, but there are even more exciting events ahead. The Bankers Week is under the theme, The Future of Banking in Ghana, Ethics, Professionalism, and the ESG imperative. So please don't miss it for anything. Thank you. Thank you very much. You can also join us online. COVID in itself may be crisis, but we've learned that we can do a lot of things virtually. Thank you very much. Thank you.